Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the channel. Today, I will finally begin on my ZL1 1LE carbon fiber front end conversion. I've been sitting on the parts for probably half a year, and a minor incident a few evenings ago causing some damage to my car. If you know what I'm talking about, I think I have videos up here somewhere or up here, wherever, where I hit actually a truck tire that was laying in the middle of an off-ramp. It damaged my front splitter, not too bad, but then it went underneath the car, caused some damage to some deflectors and some plastic shielding, some exhaust shielding. So if you check out that video, I kind of rip apart and get all the damaged pieces removed. And in this one, I figured, well, I'm waiting on parts now from GM or whoever, the dealer, to replace some of this stuff. I might as well take this time to get this front bumper off, get that lower splitter removed, swap out the fog light bezel, DRL bezel right here with the inlet, and the lower upper grill, as well as adding the canards. Now, good thing about the bumper on the ZL1, it's interchangeable with the 1LE, so you actually has a pre-cut markings on the back, so you can cut out and fit the canards. So that's the plan for today, or at least this week while I work on this slowly between work, and we'll go ahead and knock this out. Go ahead and take a look. I'll show you exactly what you're going to need to do to get this bumper off. We'll get the bumper lifted off, and then we'll dive right in. We're going to swing around to the passenger side, which I haven't messed with yet at all, and I'll show you exactly what we're talking about underneath the wheel area. Probably best if you have the wheel off. I mean, if you have it lifted up, but you can do it with the wheels on the car. You can access everything fine. And as you can see right here, we have a lot of T15 screws. There's actually going to be one down here, here, one up here. And then you have a couple pop clips, kind of see them if I don't block the light. You got a pop clip up here, and then you have a pop clip back here. You don't need to remove this whole, wheel well liner. Only the first half, just so you're trying to get access to some bolts that are behind the liner up here. But to really get this peeled back without damaging it, you want to remove it to about the halfway point. So just to be safe, you want to make sure you get that clip. And another thing I want to point out, if you look down here, there's actually a mini, kind of almost like an access cover for the wheel well liner. So you also want to remove that. That has the same T15s, and I believe a couple pop clips. Just make sure you look around. You might have to crawl underneath the car to access these. Just make sure you knock these all out. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about in regards to what we're trying to access by removing that wheel liner. As you can see here, we have a number of bolts. Let's see if I can give this, here we go, get that out of the way. We have a bolt here, you're gonna have a bolt here. These are all 7mm. You're gonna have 3 bolts here, 7mm as well. And then you have an additional 4 bolts up here. I believe these are all also 7mm. You want to remove all of these. Plus, there is a plug harness here that I actually already have unplugged. This is the only plug you're going to have to worry about disconnecting. It's got these super inconvenient little red sliders. You want to pop it down and out, and you can push in and remove it. It's kind of a pain, to be honest, but very doable. And on top of that, we have to get underneath the car. So let me slide underneath the car, and I'll show you everything you need to remove down there. Here we are underneath the front section of the car. Now, my car setup right now looks a little different than yours, because traditionally you're going to have a large plastic under tray piece right here, which is mine is shattered, and I've already removed it. No worry though, it's held on by a bunch of 10mm bolts. Super easy, just make sure you remove all the 10mm bolts. It can come off. And then on each side, you're gonna have almost look like little L braces made of plastic. Remove the bolts for those, drop them off. And then you have some bolts around the perimeter here. I'm gonna remove this little guard or whatever this is, just so I can lay the bumper flat on the ground without any issues. Now, also if you look under here, you have a bunch of screws here. These are all, I believe, 7mm, just like the inside of the wheel well. You want to remove all of these. You can feel around, make sure you get them all. And then this piece, this velvet piece right here, Hopefully you can see what I'm looking at here. But this velvet piece right here is one big piece, attaches all the way underneath the wheel well and everything. So you have to, unfortunately, remove this right here, unbolt all of these just so it's detached from the bumper, and then just make sure you get everything. Not too difficult. Just keep in mind, pretty much everything is going to be pop clips, 7mm or 10mm bolts. So also this might look a little odd here too. There's normally a plastic cover here. I've had to replace or actually repair part of the mounting surface. So if you see a big black cover right here, that's normal. Mine is in the abnormal state right now. So yeah, you'll have the two L braces. They're just held on by a couple bolts. You know, you can see the pattern of it where it was sitting on both sides. Remove the bolts for the liner. And then I would probably suggest removing this just so you have a flat surface to set it on. That's also a 7mm, I believe. And then you also have some T15s. Remove that, that'll pop off, and then knock out the stuff in the wheel well. Got this, that little hatch piece back there removed. And as you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 5 T15s and 1 pop clip, I believe. Put everything in its own little sandwich bag over here for this wheel well area. You know, I don't think there's anything else I can easily remove short of removing the whole thing. And I'm gonna try getting this dropped down a little bit out of the way so we can access the bolts here and up here. So I'm gonna set the camera down and see if I can get this maneuvered and get those removed. I'll show you what I'm talking about once I have this situated. I was able to shift the little liner thing down a little bit, dropped it down the bottom, and that gives me some room here. As you can see, these bolts all attach it to the bumper. That's why you had to remove it, but also to get access to these bolts, the up-facing ones. I believe there's 3 right in that cluster right here, and then you're gonna have, I believe it's 4 forward-facing bolts. Can't really see very well, sorry about that, but you can see them. They're pretty plain on your paint right there. There's 4 of them. They run up the length vertically. Maybe there we go. You can see, there you go. You can kind of see them right here. So I believe everything is T7s, or not T7s, but 7mm. I'm gonna go ahead and remove these. You might need an extension or something crazy like that, and then we can pop the hood and take a look at the bolts on the top. As you can see here, I've removed the 4 forward-facing screws. I'm trying to give you a good angle here, but you can kind of see them, all the same size, 7mm, and then also the little upward-facing screw cluster that's right here. Keep in mind, one of these screws is slightly different than the other ones. Of course, here's my baggie. So you're gonna have the 3 clusters, gonna have 2 of these, and then one with like a built-in washer looking deal here. And so keep that in mind. It's obvious when you look at the indentation which one goes where, or you can just mark and remember which one. I'll do that when I put everything back together. But yeah, just keep that in mind when you are taking this stuff apart. And so we're gonna get the hood popped and knock out the screws and the clips at the top edge right here. Hood is up, as you can see, and we have this perimeter of T15s and little pop clips. Remove these all the way around, and I'm not sure if you need to pop this trim piece off or not. May want to, just, you know, why not? And once we do that, we should be able to pop out each edge over here outward, and then the whole piece should come forward. It's got these clips that are almost like sliding clips, so it's going to be push in to snap them in, pull them straight out to hopefully release them, and then I'm going to bring it around to this little padded area I put over here, hopefully keep things from getting damaged. And yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and get these removed. Front bumper came off pretty smooth. Like I said, pop it out, both sides, and then lift it forward. I just left the very center top one in place until I was ready to go. Moved it, put my hands underneath the upper grill, slid right on out. Now, I didn't have an issue. If you have a front tow hook or a tow hook mounted plate, you do need to remove this to travel through the bumper, because it's actually mounted to, you know, your main crash bar or whatever. right here. So if you have this in place and you don't remove it, you bang into the, I couldn't figure out what the heck was going on. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm an idiot. I need to remove that. Now, while you do have everything apart like this, a good time to clean everything if you want. You know, a little debris, shop back all this stuff up, make it look as good as new. Look, check, got some, who knows what's in there, mystery stuff. You know, my car's dirty. I was gonna have this car nice and clean before I started all this fun stuff, but issues caused me to kind of jump a little sooner than anticipated. Also, if you're interested in the big mouth for your intake, check the video up here for that. I installed this a while back, actually without taking the bumper or anything off. Much easier if you have the bumper off, but it's kind of a pain to take the bumper off. I'm always worried about breaking clips. Thankfully, I don't see any broken clips. So yeah, this is what it looks like with the bumper off, if you were wondering. Not the prettiest thing in the world, but not the ugliest. And now I have my bumper, and I'll be working on this later. But the plan is I'm probably gonna have to flip this thing upside down. I'll put down some additional thick microfibers here, flip it upside down. We'll get the splitter removed. Once out of the way, go ahead and get these inlets popped out, the grills popped out. We'll swap those all around. But if you want to see the back of this thing, a lot going on here. Hopefully these grills come out easy enough. Kind of looks like a pain, but you know, we'll knock it out. And then we have the inlets here. And once we get all this out of the way, we can take a look at what's going on with this and how to get the canards. So I'm gonna have to get a Dremel, probably cut a spot for the canards, and then we will get this carbon fiber conversion going.